I've covered 19 games in 9 months. I've never seen a community react like this. I uploaded a video admitting I knew absolutely nothing about Guild Wars 2, and somehow 400 people showed up in my comments section just to help me or prove me wrong. Either way, I did not expect to be making this video. Last week, I threw together a quick first impression of Guild Wars 2 and released it into the wild, expecting it to run and hide like a feral cat. But that did not happen. Something completely unexpected happened. And I'm pretty sure I own kittens now. 400 kittens, actually, because that's about how many comments I've replied to. I made what I thought was a completely valid claim that no one watches videos on old games, and the Guild Wars 2 community collectively said, "Hold my beer," and they attacked my comment section like a pack of aggressively friendly golden retrievers, knocking over a toddler just to lick her face. I've never been so warmly welcomed by a gaming community before. In the 9 months I've been doing this, I've covered 19 different games. I've met a lot of communities. Some are passionate, some are knowledgeable, some are protective. But I have not encountered an audience that even comes close to the energy, enthusiasm, and overall likability of the Guild Wars 2 community. And what surprised me most wasn't that people were helpful. Plenty of communities are helpful. It's that they seemed genuinely excited that I was there. I uploaded a video admitting I knew absolutely nothing about the game, and instead of being corrected, mocked, or lectured, hundreds of people essentially responded with, "Welcome to Tyria, we're glad you're here." People played along with my ridiculous request to post happy kitty faces. They offered thoughtful advice. They answered questions I didn't even know I should be asking. They recommended things to try without demanding that I play the game a specific way. It never felt like I was being recruited. It felt like I was being invited. A lot of gaming communities want you to love their game. The Guild Wars 2 community seems to want you to enjoy your time in it. That's one of the nicest compliments I can give a gaming community. The only way I could think of to thank you was to get back in the game and give you another video. This week, I tried the Sylvari race. I am just going to be entirely honest with you, they are simply not as fun as my circus delinquent human. Now, a few people very gently told me in the comments that the Sylvari are actually a botanical race. I had wrongly assumed that they were just your standard run-of-the-mill elves, so I deeply appreciate the incredibly informative nature of your comments. I'm telling you, this community, it is the absolute best. But let's just think about the biological reality of what we're dealing with here. Plants eat sunshine and water. That is their entire culinary portfolio. And any race in a fantasy video game that has never known the absolute chaotic joy of eating a warm Krispy Kreme donut in an empty parking lot is obviously going to be a bit boring. Now, I'm going to cut them some slack. I'm going to sit down and actively work my way through the character creator. But let's be real, the material I'm working with here is a little dry. It is remarkably hard to make fun of salads. So for this gameplay, I selected Guardian because it sounded vaguely paladin-shaped. I often play a cleric in MMOs, so I figured close enough. We're gonna roll with it. However, my narrative selections were completely different. This time through, I was asked to select clothes, and to that I say yay, shopping. I was also asked to select another personality trait and a dream. But sadly, these dreams did not live up to my previous lofty expectations, because when you really sit down to think about it, what exactly do plants actually dream about? Getting rotated toward the sun? Upgrading to a premium compost? Ooh, a particularly brisk afternoon rain shower? Come on, it is hardly enough to sustain a moderately witty amateur YouTube video. So after a few more of those less than thrilling selection, it was time to face off against the character creators' in-game content, the Name Boss. But this is where you, the community, proved to be the absolute undisputed MVPs of the entire video. Because I got so many comments helping me finally defeat the soul-crushing tyranny of the text entry box. And the grand strategy that proved victorious? Yeah, the surname edition. 2 names. 2. Which is crucial because it means that when I inevitably mess up, the game can channel pure mom energy and use my government official full name to publicly correct my actions in front of the entire server. Illyria Silverleaf, get your botanical behind out of that zone this instant, or so help me. Yeah, that name rolls off the tongue. The intro story was specific to this character, whom I've already established is about as fun as vegetation can be. After the lore, I'm dropped into a colorful, foliage-filled world, and I'm told this is the dream, and I need to get out of the dream by defeating a plant dragon. Unfortunately, Guardian is a close-range class, which means I immediately returned to my natural state of wildly swinging at the air and hoping for the best. I definitely prefer a ranged character. Only in a dream can I swing at air and defeat a dragon. And then I'm dropped into the real world. I know it's the real world because there are commercials. So many commercials. Apparently, I can save 35% off every single expansion if I act within the next 16 hours. Now look, I simply cannot make that kind of profound financial and emotional commitment in less than a day. I didn't even know that I was basically born from a tiny literal seed until yesterday, and now you want me to decide on the spot which of your 6 different extended worlds I should purchase? I have questions, Guild Wars, so many questions. Is there a chronological order to these? Is one of them objectively better than the others? Can I buy just one without being forced to buy the others? You know what? I'm not even going to stress myself out trying to figure this out. I'm just going to let my pack of aggressively friendly golden retrievals tackle this question in the comments. Go on. Fetch, you beautiful, magnificent creatures. Dig up those helpful answers for me. I will catch up with likes and hearts a bit later. Which brings us to the gameplay itself, where, just like before, I did a handful of quests in the starter area. But there was one specific quest that completely confused me. Here's the setup. I talked to Groot's remarkably articulate cousin here, and he tells me he wants help clearing out a nearby nest of undead. But first of all, dang, he just took off. Hey there, Mulchman. If we're going to start sprinting into battle, I need to stretch first. Technically, my character is a plant person who probably doesn't have muscles, but this is where my real-world lack of physical fitness is forcing its way through the screen, because no one told me there was going to be running. Is something chasing us? I don't think so. While protecting Usain Bark, I encountered a prompt called AoE Loot Interact. I didn't know what this meant, and I couldn't wait for the comment section to do their due diligence, so I Googled it. And it turns out it allows you to loot multiple objects at once within a specific radius. This is actually a fantastic quality of life feature, especially since Sir Splinters over there was not waiting around for me to examine my treasures. He was moving with absolute purpose, operating entirely on the philosophy of places to go, undead to re-dead. But here is where my core question lies. I thought it was just me and this animated pile of firewood doing this quest, but then more players showed up. Shout out to Maxillation and Myclar. Now, you two are part of the collective community, so I just assume this message will somehow reach you pluribus style through the hive mind. But why did this happen? Why did a quest I started suddenly bring in other players? Do they actually get something out of helping me with my personal chore list? Look, I don't want to sound ungrateful. It was just a level of cooperative public design that I have quite literally never experienced in an MMO before. And while I currently have the rapt, unblinking attention of my favorite MMO humans, I thought I would just ask you. Also, quick sidebar, I am deeply sorry if comparing you all to a pack of golden retrievers was in any way offensive. I meant it as the most sincere, highest tier term of endearment possible. You are enthusiastic and you are incredibly loyal. You also happen to possess an unparalleled wealth of knowledge about old school fantasy games. Now go on, to the comments, fetch me answers. Until next time, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next world. Well, actually, let me walk that back. Because a massive number of you pointed out in the comments that you will only watch Guild Wars content. So I guess I won't actually see you in the next world. For those of you who are strictly here for Tyria and Tyria alone, here is a special bonus section just for you. Now again, I am highly likely talking directly to the collective hive mind here, so there is probably no logical point to me even bringing this up. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Guild Wars 3 was announced. So what on earth does that mean for this game that I literally just picked up last week? Because historically, when most MMOs announce a sequel, the player base immediately starts ordering flowers and planning a funeral for their current game. But ArenaNet actually spent a massive portion of their Guild Wars 3 announcement desperately trying to convince players that Guild Wars 2 is not entering maintenance mode. In fact, some of you may be deeply saddened by the news that Guild Wars 2 is pausing its traditional expansion cycle for a bit. But personally, for me, this is fantastic news because even at a whopping 35% off, I don't think my bank account could survive purchasing all 7 of those extended worlds. I will have you know that YouTube is absolutely not paying the bills around here just yet. Instead, ArenaNet is pausing expansion development for roughly a year to focus entirely on improving the existing game. And that is a pretty wild, highly unusual move for an MMO that is nearly 14 years old.
Months ahead, but today, we're here to talk about the games you're already playing. I want you all to know our studio is committed to actively developing Guild Wars Reforged and Guild Wars 2 for many years to come. We are not replacing your favorite games, we'll be supporting them. We know this is not the norm, but it's something our studio has been preparing for, and to explain why, it's worth looking back.
But as a brand new player stepping into this world for the very first time, I was incredibly excited to hear about these planned improvements. This game is about to get that new car smell, and I'm arriving just in time to inhale the digital fumes. So where do we actually stand on the Guild Wars 3 announcement? Are most of you planning to jump ship the second it drops? Are you Guild Wars 2 diehards who are staying loyal to number 2 exclusively? Or, and I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to be the absolute winner, are you just going to be playing both? Looking forward to your comments, but good God, y'all know how to type.
What is your story?